Good evening, all you mentees, and welcome back to another episode of Reelz Talk with your host, the amazing Amanda, my lovely co-host, the Uncanny Omar.
Cowabunga! Right? It's the only
Cowabunga.
time you can say it, right? Like now is the time to say it.
Yeah, and could we at some point talk about how Cowabunga, who started Cowabunga? Was it the Turtles or was it something else?
No, it was not the Turtles. It was just, wasn't it like a surf term in
Is it?
California? Like
sure.
the movement like started in California because, Michelangelo's the party dude and people like, what's his face? The Fast Times at Richmond High, like that part.
You're right.
That is it. Maybe we should have done the research of who started Cowabunga first.
As long as it wasn't the Turtles, it looks like it's originated from a Hawaiian word, and that's for surfing. And yes, okay, that's good.
Okay, so I was kind of right.
Kind of. You were really close.
I was almost. I would have gotten there eventually, but I think Michelangelo made it really popular in the late '80s, early '90s.
That's true.
Yes. Yeah. So here Spicoli. Thank you. That is the character's name in Fast Times at Richmond High. Mm-hmm. Cowabunga, I think Michelangelo said it at the end of the... Yes, he did. He did say it because I was looking for Cowabunga in this movie.
Yes. It was said.
So what are we talking about today? Why are we talking about Cowabunga, Amanda?
Yeah, we're talking about the new Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles movie that just came out last weekend. So Omar and I both have had a chance to see it, and we want to go ahead and review it since last week you all know we did the Was It Really That Bad for TMNT 3.
And yes, it was.
Spoiler alert.
It was an awful movie.
It made me laugh a lot. I had a very hard time explaining the plot because it made me laugh. Anyways, so yeah.
What's up, Tony?
We're back. Hey, Tony, how's it going? So we're back with Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Mutant Mayhem, animated, right?
Animated in a very
Paramount Nickelodeon.
And I don't want to say a very borrowed style because it definitely, it's influenced by Spider-Verse and those type of animated movies. But it kind of does his own little spin, like it looks dirty and gritty. Yeah. But yes, go ahead, Amanda. Give us the rundown on the production companies and who directed it.
And you can definitely see that influence because when you see who the directors and the writers are, it makes a lot of sense as to what the animation style is. So director for the movie is Jeff Rowe and Kyler Spears. So Jeff Rowe was actually a writer for Disenchantment, Mitchell's vs. the Machines.
I like that movie.
And Kyler Spears was in the art department for Mitchell's vs. Machines. So you can kind of see, if you watch that movie, you could kind of see the influence there of their influence embedded in this film 100%, especially in the animation. And then also in some of the humor and the way it's laid out. So the writers, obviously, Seth Rogen's a producer on this. He's also one of the writers. I don't know if anyone can catch on to that, given some of the jokes. So is Evan Goldberg, who is his writing partner, who's done The Neighbors and Interview and This Is the End, and of course, Superbad, all those films. So they know how to write teenagers, which these mutant turtles are teenagers. They're only 15, approximately, at the time of this, when the movie takes place. And then, of course, Jeff Rowe is also credited as a writer on this production. So, yeah.
Also voicing Rocksteady. Didn't he voiced Rocksteady?
Bebop. Rocksteady was John Cena.
John Cena was
Bebop with Seth Rogen. And you could tell because Seth Rogen's voice is so distinct. He doesn't know how to mask it, at all.
Wait. Bebop was?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
We sure about that, Amanda?
I just looked it up on IMDb.
I believe you, but I really thought Bebop was Seth Rogen and John Cena was Rocksteady, and I could be wrong.
That's what I said. I said Rocksteady was John Cena, Bebop is Seth Rogen.
Oh, that's what I said. Okay, so I was right. Okay. Is what you're saying? Are you saying I was right?
No, it's fine. Yeah, you were right.
Okay, it's fine.
Yeah, and you could tell Seth Rogen brought some of his buddies because Rose Byrne's in it, obviously, who played his wife in the Neighbors movies. She's playing it. Ice Cube shows up. His buddy Paul Rudd, of course, is in the film.
His buddy
playing Mondo Gecko, and there's our obligatory.
That's not Mondo Gecko at all.
For the national treasure that Paul Rudd is.
Oh my god!
So yeah, and then of course, what's really cool is because they are 15 years old, they actually got young kids to play our 4 turtles, right? So Donatello, Michelangelo, Leonardo, Raphael are all played by young kids. Looked them up. They're all very few credits, maybe 1 or 2 to their name. A lot of Nickelodeon shows here and there, or 1 or 2 Nickelodeon shows. but they are fairly new to the game, all of these young actors. So this is great that this is kind of like their big.
I love it, but you mentioned something a couple of weeks ago that it's kind of heartbreaking that this is their first movie and they don't get to go out and do all the cool things like the red carpet, the interviews, because of all the writer's strike that's going on. And that really sucks. Imagine being that age and like finally getting a movie. And
well, they did do some because they did. There are some.
Get them in trouble? You going to rat them out?
No, it was prior to I think Paramount did this on purpose. There are some interviews of them with Io, who plays April O'Neil. You might recognize her from The Bear. She plays Sydney in The Bear. But they did some interviews prior to this. And so did Seth Rogen, who also did one of those Tom Cruise intros to the film, where he was like, "Thank you for coming to see this film in the medium it was meant to in the movie."
It was just so weird to hear from Seth Rogen. Like,
I know.
This is the guy that you can't judge people in their past roles or anything, and maybe he is trying to step into that role, more of a role of a producer, and distance himself from those old movies that he used to do that drew a different kind of crowd. But yeah, so every Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles movie that has come out, I've seen in the theater, with the exception of the Michael Bay ones, and
for good reason.
I don't think I've seen them yet. So I don't know. Those could be great. Those could be amazing. I don't know. If they're like Transformers, I doubt it. But it made me happy to go and see this one because both of my kids really liked it. And I will go ahead and say this right now before we get into the deep review. This definitely feels like a kids movie. 100%. But there's nothing wrong with that because we've talked about kids movies on the show before and how fun they can be for adults too, whether it's Easter eggs or whether it's just a really good story, or whether they make you laugh. But it's not like kids movie like the level of Super Mario Brothers. It's more like kids movies, like kids that are in middle school or going into high school that can appreciate the damn Gen Z jokes. Didn't get on my nerves. Like, I was this is cute because they're acting like teenagers.
They are of today. When they said
technology, the way they talk, the things they're into. The Donatello wearing a JoJo's Bizarre Adventure hoodie. I was like, what?
BTS butter.
Oh man, when they started singing it, and he's like, "You don't know the words. You don't know the words. What are y'all doing?" Oh man. Okay. So let's talk about the premise of the movie.
Word sus, I almost died because my daughter says sus, and I was like,
all our kids say sus.
I hate that word. I was like, I feel so.
It took me a long time to find out what it meant. I'm like, what does sus mean?
Lyndon, what does it mean? And I don't even know if she really.
They'll tell you what it means.
But she laughed so hard at this film.
Yeah, so this is a different incarnation. It's not a follow up. It's its own origin. It's a new universe of Ninja Turtles. So Amanda, what's the origin of the Turtles in this one? It's a little different than what we've seen before, but the same kind of thing.
And it's really cool because the movie starts off with their origin story, but you don't see all of it right away. You see it as you go after the story, but it starts out with pretty much like a chase scene almost of some men in armored cars, all dressed up in riot gear, and they are looking for someone. And it is a scientist named Baxter Stockman, played by the only guy that, he only pops up, Giancarlo Esposito, right? The guy has a great voice. We always want to put him in something. So
in this one, I was like, why?
Why? It's like a 5 minute, if that, he doesn't have.
I couldn't even tell it was him, but go ahead.
No, so he basically has created some type of, the turtles call it an ooze, but some type of, some type of serum that he can mutate things. And he mutated a fly. And you see this baby fly that's kind of in a corner, and he's trying to he had ran away from this organization, this scientific organization that's run by Cynthia Utrom, played by Maya Rudolph. And you can definitely tell it's Maya Rudolph doing her weird accents. And obviously it's their intellectual property, but he doesn't want them to have it because he thinks they're going to use it for bad things, which of course they want to use it for bad things. They want to use it for war and all that stuff. So they go ahead and
Hold on a second. You hate new universes. What? Jack Ferry, you're a fan of the Ultimate Spider-Man. Aren't you? Isn't that like your Spider-Man? Boy, I got some bad news for you, Jack. Fellow Kentuckian, always hating everything I love. Much love to you, Jack. Go ahead, Pat.
Anyway, so they do finally, so Cynthia's men do finally catch up with Baxter, and in the ensuing fight, he ends up blowing everything up. Baxter dies, but the Fly does get away, and you see like kind of tidbits of, maybe he was grabbing stuff. I thought maybe he was attacking some of the guys, but he wasn't. And then you also see one vial of the ooze fall into the sewer, right? And so we all know, they watched it a little bit, we all know that where it's going to go. So 15 years later is the title card, and then we are introduced to our Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. And they're doing basically, we think they're going to fight crime, but realistically what they're doing is they're doing a grocery run for their father, who is Splinter, which I don't ever recall them calling him Splinter in the film, and maybe I missed it, but I don't remember them ever saying he was Splinter. We just know because if you're a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles fan, it's Master Splinter, but I don't ever think they called him that. I mean, he's played by Jackie Chan, of course, as he should be. And so during these trips to get the groceries, you kind of feel like they're very much like Ariel. They want to see what the human world's like. They're very curious about it.
Did you compare them to a Little Mermaid?
Well, because that's exactly the same. It's the same type of theme, right? They're exploring the other world. They feel that their father says it's a scary place and they're going to milk you, which the milking is a joke that maybe goes on a little bit too long in the film. But I mean, it's
a very Seth Rogen joke. And they're like, we don't have any nipples. We have no nipples. How can they milk us?
Exactly. So as you're seeing them go through the grocery run, you're seeing that they're very interested in the human world. They actually stop to go watch Ferris Bueller being shown in the park, right? And they're in New York City, like they're watching the movie that's in the park, and they're very interested, and they don't understand why they can't try to be out amongst the people. And of course, Splinter has to remind them of what happened to them after he had discovered them the first time. And I love his story. It's so funny. He was a rat that not even the other rats didn't even like him. His only friend was a cockroach, and he got killed. And I thought it was great. And then he ends up down in the sewer, and he sees the turtles hanging out in the slime or in the ooze. And when he touches it, it obviously mutates him. It mutates the turtles, and then they're babies. So he takes them under his wing and raises them as his sons, right? And when he tries to take them out in public, he thinks everything's okay, but then eventually someone recognizes that they're not human, freaks out, and he almost gets the turtles killed. So he decides, we cannot go to the human world. It's not safe. We have to stay down here where it's safe, in the sewers. And so that's kind of why they've been hanging out in the sewers, and Splinter doesn't want them going anywhere, except for on their grocery runs, which he also taught them martial arts. And it's this great sequence where they're learning it. And then you see like actual martial art movies of the past, right? And home videos, or the one like learn martial arts. It was like a tutorial video, but it's like, instead of the animation, it's an actual live showing. So you get to see that kind of interspliced within there.
They do refer to him as Splinter when they're talking about him, but when they are addressing him, they do call him Dad, which I personally like when any TMNT interaction does this. I agree with that.
Yeah, I was like, I might have missed it, but yeah. So I'm glad that they did do that.
There is an Easter egg with Kevin Smith in the movie. I don't know if anybody else caught it, but I did when I went to watch it with my kiddos.
Which one was it?
It's the guy that takes Splinter's hand at the end, or he was like, give it to me, like like the guy that's like, give it to me, and even kind of looks a little bit like Kevin Eastman. So carry on.
No, you're good. So so basically, during one of their outings, they do accidentally meet April O'Neil, and the way they meet her is they're playing around on the rooftop with their ninja stars and their sticks and their swords. And one of the ninja stars, they throw it wrong, and it actually lands or like almost hits her, and she's down the ground, and she's yelling up at them, not paying attention to someone who's actually stealing her motorbike. So Leonardo is clearly smitten with her the first time he sees her. And he's like, we got to go help her. It's our fault that her bike got stolen. So they go to basically get this. And they never fought anyone before. They learned martial arts, but never fought anyone before. So it's a really hilarious scene when they first try to fight this gang of like thieves in their garage. It's really hilarious. They kind of bumble their way through it, but they are able to knock them all out. And then of course April had followed everyone, and so she ends up meeting the turtles, and at first is like taken aback, but accepts them for who they are. And she is a budding journalist. She's in high school, so she is of the same age as they are, and she's basically trying to get her prom not canceled. That's why she's been doing her journalist, because there's been this wave of crimes in the city of people stealing like superconductors and atomic things, and like basically stuff to create a scientific or some type of science experiment thing that we can only assume is maybe either Cynthia, which I guess it was, and it turns out not to be her, but it could be the fly that we didn't see for 15 years.
To answer this question really quick to Jax, was there ever a TMNT manga? Oh yes, absolutely. There's been, oh my gosh, I think one that came out to America, but there's been a few. There's been a handful of them. Some of them are, of course, doujinshi, so fan made manga, but some of them are legit. I know of three TM. Yes, nice. Leonardo or Leonardo. Oh my God, I can't wait to talk about this movie.
Leonardo. Okay, because Leon is, I guess, an okay name. Sorry to anyone who is called Leon. I apologize. But anyway, so basically, April wants to be a journalist, and she decides that she's going to try to find this person named Superfly. Apparently that is the person who's been stealing all of this stuff, and no one has ever like really seen him, because the people he hires to work for him all die if they see his face. So they don't know how to catch them. So she kind of, in a way enlists the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles to help her. I mean, will they actually want to volunteer? Because they thought, well, if she writes about us and shows us doing good things, that maybe humans will accept us, right? So they want to help so they can be accepted by humans. And she wants to do this because she had a very bad encounter on her school broadcast with the news, and her first time being on camera, and she puked everywhere, and she was now called Puke Girl, and it was made into memes, it was made into GIFs. I mean, that was also, it was very reminiscent of Mitchell versus Machines, because that's very much how they did a lot of that too. That once I realized who wrote this, I was like, oh yeah, this makes a lot of sense. But she's trying to, fix her reputation as a serious journalist, as serious as a 16-year-old could be as a journalist. And also, it's a cool story. So they, of course, do the whole detective sleuth. We have the montage, a really cool montage of them going to each one of the gangs' warehouses or hideouts where
I really loved the way that was shot.
I did too, where they're fighting.
It kept cutting into a different turtle fighting a different, villain, and I thought that was really cool because they're trying to find this new character.
Yeah,
Superfly, as they call him.
Superfly. Yes, and so so they do. So they do eventually. They are able to capture one guy who does have one piece of the machine that needs to be made, maybe the final piece, or it turned out to be the final piece. So they decide to stage a drop off where they can confront Superfly. Now they're thinking that Superfly is going to be a human, and all of his backup will be humans. So when they all show up, and it turns out to be Bebop, Rocksteady, Leatherhead, Wingnut,
keep going, keep going.
Play, Genghis Frog. Oh, what was the guy who spoke Vermin? Because that made me laugh.
Oh, Scumbug.
Scumbug. Oh my gosh, that made me laugh so hard.
And of course, because Splinter was friends with a cockroach, he's immediately bonding with
Scumbug.
Scumbug, because Scumbug's supposed to be a roach. And these are all characters from the comic or the cartoon. With the exception of Superfly. Superfly, everybody was expecting to be Baxter Stockman, but as you find out, it's not. Yeah.
Yeah. And fun fact, originally they were going to have Shredder in the film, but Jeff Rose said he wanted the villain to be someone that was also a mutant, that they could be empathetic towards and possibly corrupt the turtles. And that's why they chose Superfly, I guess, as a thing. So basically, Superfly
Scumbag is a she in this version, but
Scumbag is a she.
In the cartoon, it's a guy. It's creep. Just as creep. This version was so stupid and ridiculous, though.
Mollywop that like button, guys. Thank you.
There's my dude.
Yes.
Shaunus Hook.
So we are introduced to Superfly and his gang of mutants. Superfly, obviously,
and he's cool. He's like,
he's Ice Cube.
Yo, man, come party with me.
Yeah,
you guys are mutants. We're mutants too. Let's come. They go and play video games together and shoot pool. Everybody's invited. It's all cool.
Mondo Gecko clearly gets along with, who is it? I think it's a Michelangelo.
Mikey. That's always been the thing.
They just get along really well.
That's in every incarnation, no matter in the comics or the cartoons. It's always been Mikey and Mondo Gecko because they're both like Californian dude. Except not this time. Mikey's a little different.
Yeah,
we're cousins.
By Post Malone. Funny enough, I was like, oh, okay.
Wait, what? Ray Fillet was Post Malone?
Yeah. That's why we singing and stuff. Yeah, I'm not serious. I looked it up.
I did not catch that. Okay.
Yeah. Well, and some of them I didn't like. Hannibal Buress, he's a comedian who's been on like Daily Show and stuff. He was Genghis Frog, but I guess I didn't really recognize his voice. And then Rose Byrne as Leatherhead. I guess I kind of, because she had that British accent or English accent. So I guess I
thought she was Australian. That's Australian.
Okay, it's Australian, but I could kind of see. I was like, okay, that makes sense.
Oh yeah. I didn't really. Other than Ice Cube
and Seth Rogen.
Ice Cube's voice, and Seth Rogen's voice. I didn't even catch John Cena's until the credits, or Paul Rudd. I'll be honest, Paul Rudd's voice I didn't even catch.
Oh, I did. Well, I had seen something.
You had already known. Had already known.
And then I'm listening for it, and I was like, oh, that is Paul Rudd's voice, 100%.
Okay. What's up? The name changes. Yeah. So then the truth comes out, right? It's like, no, we can't get along with humans. We got to kill them all, and we're gonna make all animals.
Yeah, he's like, maybe we'll use it for entertainment, and we'll have, what is it, the boy booty? Like, what the heck was that thing? I was like, okay, we'll throw babies. I was like, good Lord.
This is rated PG, and they were kind of crossing a little bit of lines, which I appreciated because when you have somebody like Ice Cube voicing that character, you always expect something to be said. The same thing like Samuel L. Jackson voicing an animated character, like what was the name? Frozone,
yeah, you gotta have some
Incredibles. I don't know, it's just your brain is like already programmed to think, hey, yeah,
he might swear, he might say something. So basically he wants to kill all humans, and he has this device that if it shoots, it's like the lizard's device.
Oh, that plot, yeah.
Where they're going to shoot the serum in the air, and then it's going to turn all the animals in the whole world into mutants, and they will take over, kill humans, or turn them into slaves, or use them for their entertainment. It could get weird really quick if you're not careful. And thankfully, it's a PG film, so they don't get too weird. Except for the boy booty, I'm still trying to figure out what the hell that was. It was just a weird. Like I wasn't expecting.
I thought it was a Fallout Boy thing.
No, it is not.
No, oh my bad.
They're not it. I don't think they do it. We can do this. So basically, they're like, oh, this isn't really what we, agreed to, and they play it off like they're going to go along with it, and then as they're driving to the site where the machine's being built, they finally get to use Donatello's stick to do the infamous hit the brake, and then everyone goes flying through the windshield because there's no windshield on this van for some reason. And Mondo, Gecko, I think Leatherhead, and Genghis Frog are in there, I believe. Or no, Rocksteady. They're all in there. So they all go flying forward. So the turtles take off with this last piece. And so there's a big chase scene. Of course, they don't win in this instant because then the movie would be over. So Superfly does get it from them, and they're captured because unbeknownst to them, Cynthia Ostrom had put these tracking devices in all these pieces. And so her crew comes and takes the turtles and then starts milking them for their blood, which is
they're being milked.
Also, yes, big booty boy races. Okay, thank you. It's apologies. That's what it was. I just what? I feel like Ice Cube wanted to say
that sounds like an anime or a manga, honestly.
He wanted to say something else, and they're like, "Wait, we gotta."
It's Ice Cube.
We
gotta redo that. We gotta redo
re-record that, please. That's not acceptable.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, anyways, yeah, Nightwing booty only. I would be okay with that if it was a Nightwing booty race.
Oh, now you're gonna make her loose where she was.
I know. Anyways, so the turtles are trapped. They think April had abandoned them, but in fact, she goes to their sewer home and finds Splinter, who's waiting around for his boys. He had a whole party for him. He even brought those life-size stand-ups of like Chris Evans and Chris Pine as
and they were live action versions.
Yeah, it was live action,
not animated versions. Which, when you were talking about the live action,
yes,
movies like Ferris Bueller's Day Off, no matter what it is, because I also hated it in WALL-E. I hate that stuff in animated films. It just throws me off. I don't know why. It's a pet peeve. Did you not
like the live action stuff in Into the Spider-Verse Across the Spider-Verse?
You know I didn't. Because you didn't like, with okay, maybe in that movie it got a pass because we're talking about multiverses, right? Okay, but in a movie where everybody's animated and they're looking at a video and they're not animated, I'm like, well, what the hell? Make up your mind. Because like I said, I had the same issue with WALL-E, and I think WALL-E won an Oscar, maybe, or was up for an Oscar. But anyway,
I don't know if it won or not.
It's just a pet peeve of mine. I have pet peeves like that.
I'm okay with them crossing mediums. I as long as it's done, it's like, to me, it's done in the right way. It wasn't just random. It's like, it's movies. It's a different, like, for them, it's a different media, and so it makes sense, I guess, that it would be live action versus where we're in an animated world, right? But then the medium is live action. So I guess I'm okay with it. Looking at it like that. So I'm okay with it.
I can see that. Yeah. Fictional character standee still. Okay.
Yep. So basically, April goes to Splinter. It's like, your boys are in trouble. You need to come help them. So the boys are getting milked for their ooze, for their blood, which is kind of gross. They try to sing BTS's Butter. I was like, there's other BTS songs I would have liked besides that.
I didn't even know you knew any BTS songs, but more power to you. More power to you.
I am a big fan of Korean boy bands and girls.
When did this happen? Anyway, keep going. Keep going.
Lyndon loves Cupid 50 or Cupid. That's another Korean. Anyways, so basically, they do come and rescue the boys, and Splinter gets to use his Jackie Chan style moves to defeat them. And it's cool because he's still old, so there's still like little, you could tell he's old. He has some little missteps and stuff here and there, but he still kicks everyone's butt. And he saves his boys, and he realizes that, even though I don't like humans, we still can't let Superfly do what he's going to do. So then we get to our final confrontation, which is them confronting Superfly. And this is where it gets really interesting, because them plus Splinter managed to convince all of the mutants, like, hey.
Yeah, it's kind of a quick turn.
It's a very quick turn. I don't know how I feel about that, and we can talk about that. But the other mutants, like Bebop, Rocksteady, Mondo Gecko, I mean, him I could have thought that was easy turn, right? Because he seemed like he was friendly.
What's up, Tony? Yeah. No. I 100% agree with you, because that was the only time I'm like, okay, this is where we get Genghis Frog. This is where we get Mondo Gecko, because it's programmed in our heads that no matter what incarnation of Turtles you're watching, reading, or playing the video game, Mondo Gecko and eventually the frogs are going to be good, right? And then there's some middle ground characters that are like, I ain't messing with you all, going to go my way. And Rocksteady and Bebop are stupid, and they're always going to side with the bad guys. But no, it surprised me that everybody turned on Superfly.
And Superfly's like, I don't care. He's like, so quick to turn on me. And he still wants to go through his plan. So then he has to fight all of them. And they end up pushing the device, and it does go off, but in the ocean, and Superfly along with it. And he emerges as some mega mutant, and he absorbs other animals, which I
dumb.
couldn't get over the giraffe on his like up here. I was like, what is going on with that giraffe? It's killing me. Just get it off of his nose. But anyways, so basically he comes out of the water and he's like half fish, whale.
He's huge. He's like the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man. Huge.
Were there whales in the Hudson? I don't know. I mean, it's fine. It is what it is. But
that's the question you're asking.
Yeah, he even ends up at the zoo because he's on the other side. He's like on Jersey's side, right? So he, yeah, so he ends up like at the zoo, and that's where he gets horses on his legs, and he talks about the horses on his legs, all these animals, and so he ends up going to New York City because he's gonna go and wreak havoc on the humans. So they are able to, they get like a serum that they can use to kind of like revert him back. And so they all have to go and fight him in New York City. And it goes terribly wrong at first. And you start to see all of these news outlets because they're near Times Square, I'm assuming. So there's all of these large, massive screens that are showing the newscasts. And they're calling out the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles as the enemy, right? That they're the mutants, they're the bad guys. And they're like, they're never going to see us as good guys. And then Leonardo's like, we've been doing this for the wrong reasons. We have to do this because it's the right thing to do, not because it's going to make us good with the humans. It doesn't matter what the humans think about us. We have to do the right thing. So they end up doing the right thing. But of course, April also decides she's not going to let this stand. So she intercepts one of the newscasts. She does throw up in it. She didn't think she was going to, but she did. But she starts talking about what the real story is. And of course, everyone's listening. And then at that point, there is that one scene where someone does, like when Splinter is fighting and he gets knocked back and he has the anti-serum, someone does, they all start coming to his aid, like, do you need help? And then someone comes to help him. And the Mutant Ninja Turtles work together along with Splinter to figure out how to get this serum basically in the back of his blowhole that he has acquired, Superfly. And
where did he pick up that trick from? Attack on Titan, baby. Attack on Titan. I'm like, wait, Donnie's an he's a geek, man. I love it, dude. He was like, gotta do this like Attack on Titan.
They even mentioned Endgame. Like, I was like, dang.
Yeah, they mentioned all kinds of things, which is really cool. But like,
yeah, I mean,
and it's really cool that it kind of came in handy and all of it. Love it.
Yeah. So they are able to defeat Superfly, and at the end of it, they kind of get what they want in a way, right? They kind of are accepted, and April kind of gets the redemption that she's looking for. And that's basically Mutant Mayhem, man.
There is an after credit of the kids.
Oh, I didn't stay for the after credit. I didn't know that.
Oh, you didn't?
No, I did not.
Well, okay, so we do see. Well, at the end, you see Shredder, right?
Well, now, I do. Yeah.
You see Shredder's cape. You see the side.
Yeah.
And this is the kids going into the school, like, and learning like what clubs are going to be in and stuff like that. It was really cute. I liked it. It kind of gave me hope that this does well. And there's a sequel. All right, let's talk about the movie. That was a great synopsis, as always.
Thank you.
I think for me, it's really cool how my brother brought this up. He's like, he finds it endearing that every generation of Ninja Turtles, we have the one that gets made fun of always changes because, like, the dork is always something different. Like in the 80s, the stereotypical dorky character is the one that's smart, the one that's into machines. So let's make fun of Donnie. Later on in the early aughts and then into the 2012 series, they made fun of Michelangelo, right? Because he was like a jokester, lighthearted. Yeah. And in this version, they're making fun of Leo, which I thought that was really funny. Yeah. And it made sense, right? Because he's like trying to be cool and like they make fun of everything about him.
Yeah.
And I love that. Okay, I'm asking you, who's your favorite turtle?
Ooh, in this one?
Uh-huh.
Ooh, Donatello. I really like him.
Donnie's won me over.
Adorable. I don't know if it's the voice actor really got
I think it's a good mix.
Yeah, I really like the voice actor for him. He's also that was also Lyndon's favorite too. She really liked Donatello a lot.
His voice, he was just an adorable character. And it's weird because the only thing about this movie that voice didn't work for me, and it's not the movie's fault, it's just because I've grown up this way, is Mikey has always been the baby, like the young one. So Mikey's voice really threw me off in this.
He's older than like Donatello. Donatello to me seems like the baby, and the other ones seem older. And Leonardo seems like the oldest.
Yeah, and this is the only turtle incarnation where, I'm sorry, but Raphael was boring. Like every incarnation of Ninja Turtles I've seen read, like it's always been about Raph like having anger issues, and they mention it here, but they don't really show it.
They mention his anger issues, but he barely gets angry.
Like he flips a car, right? He flips a car. Yeah. But we don't really see him get angry. And there might have been some stuff that's left on the cutting room floor because this movie was only like 90 minutes. We came home and Melanie was like, that was a short movie. And we're like, oh yeah, it was.
Yeah.
So what's going on in Hawaii? I just saw Tom Daly's.
I saw that. I don't know
what's going on, Tom. Something going on. Wildfires. Okay, wildfires.
Oh, wildfires.
I've been out of the loop for the last couple of days. Yeah, thoughts and prayers with everybody there for sure, man. Dang. So the fires are battling blazes right now. At least 6 killed. Thank you for that, Tom. Yeah, it's sorry. It's to come back to
this is a weird transition. Yeah, no.
There was a lot of jokes being thrown, and I think what I did miss from it was the seriousness. Like, okay, like they're saving Shredder for the sequel, right? And this definitely feels like a comedy and less of action. Don't get me wrong, there's a lot of heartfelt moments in there, but I kind of wish they had focused on them a little bit more. Like, you know, especially Splinter. I thought Splinter was an interesting character because Splinter hates humans, and he's like, he hates them all because of what has happened to him in his past. And I really like the way that, you know, he realized that no, it's not every human is evil. It's just case by case.
Yeah.
That he just had some bad luck, and he learns to trust them. And I kind of wish they had focused a little more on that.
Yeah, because I feel like obviously there's supposed to be some kind of a mirror of Superfly who's taking care of his own family, right? Because, you know, in that flashback, he had taken all of the little animals that were in their own test tubes, the Rocksteady, Bebop, Leatherhead, etc. He had taken them with him and fled when all that stuff was going down in the prologue, right? And he raised them as his, you know, his kids, his siblings, I guess he called them more of his siblings, I think. And there was an interesting like mirror of him and Splinter. We won't see it, like they mention it, they don't explore it as much as I think I would have liked because it is a short film. It's very tight, but because it's tight, I feel like it's missing some of the character development I was expecting. And I know it's a kids movie, and I doubt my child cares about the character development.
No, it's about moving those toys, baby.
Moving those toys, and I'm sure she's gonna want some TMNT toys after this, along with Five Nights at Freddy's. So yeah, because you see that one instance when they're all attacking him except for Splinter, and he's like, "Man, you and me, we're the same. We're the same." And that's where Splinter's like, "Well, we're not really the same," because you know he still cares about his boys, and his boys believe that we should be saving humanity. Like they're still different, but we don't see explored too much because we don't see Superfly. Unlike Splinter, we see him from the beginning, and we kind of get his whole take. Superfly's absent. He's like this mysterious character until he's suddenly revealed.
Yeah, right? You just keep hearing about him.
We just hear about him, and then he's revealed, and then we get this montage and learning about him while they're all playing around, having fun at that abandoned arcade. So that's where I think you're missing those pieces that could have made it a little bit more.
I agree with that.
Yeah,
I agree with that. I think a lot of it has to do toys for me. What are you talking about, Tony? You're on my side. The only other thing that I think I had issues with, and it's very minute issues, is just how they became ninjas was by watching movies.
No, I love that. I was a big fan of that.
Like, all right, whatever.
How are they going to learn? Where, like, how else are they going to learn? They're stuck in the sewer.
Okay, because I mean, come on.
But also,
it's a story that's based on Ninja Turtles. Like, you can get from anything. Like,
yeah, I know, but
they were trained because but in this, he was an actual rat, right? He wasn't Hamato Yoshi, so
yeah, no, he was just
he wasn't a trained martial artist. But yeah, you're annoyed that Baxter Stockman got killed. Yeah, Baxter Stockman didn't even make it.
He barely. I mean, no, he's barely in it. And to have an actor like Giancarlo and then just use him for maybe 2 minutes. I mean, yeah, it's fine.
No more ridiculous than a rat learning from his ninja owner.
I mean, yes, suspension disbelief.
It was just weird.
I mean, it's the same thing about like displacement of time travel, but it has to be the person of the same mass that you're time traveling with, and you end up in your. I mean,
what?
Tmnt 3. Come on, stick with me there.
Please don't ever mention that movie again. I noticed that every time a new animated TMNT show comes out, the fandom loses their minds because it's different, even though every incarnation has had death and serious moments, even Rise of the Ninja Turtles. The 3? I don't think 3 did. I don't think 3 had any of that.
When it comes
Learning from a book is worse. Yes, the Karate Kid did not.
Yes.
He did not.
Okay, so here's an interesting so there were some scenes with the action, and it looks like, you know, when you see like PG-13 action, we never see someone actually like get a sword to the stomach, to the head or anything, and then where it's not like, I mean, unless it's an Avengers, but they usually survive for the most part if it's a good guy. But in this one, there's that one scene when Splinter is like saving them, and he does stick a sword straight in one of the guy's heads, and he falls down. I was like, that for a PG movie?
Well, if you think about it, like the original, like the original Ninja Turtles like movie had Shredder fall into a trash, like a garbage truck, and then Casey coming and crushing him, like pushing the button to crush him, and that was a PG movie. Right, but then a lot of parents complain about the violence in that movie, and that's why Secret of the Ooze, this is what we talked about in the review of 3, didn't have the violence that it kind of needed. This I thought was appropriate, like everything from like, the way they fought with the villains, and I love that montage. That was really cool. And we haven't even talked about. Okay, so yeah, those are. That's it. That's my minute pickings, because I really didn't have an issue with this movie. I really liked it. I went into it, I didn't know what to expect, but I ended up really liking it, and my kids really liked it. And I was like, I can't remember who said it, but immediately after watching it, I was like, kind of want to watch it again. It was a lot of fun, and for a movie that's geared towards kids to move toys. Hell, man, it was good. Like, I wanted more. I wanted to see Shredder a little bit more. And I wanted to see the kids. Like, it really felt like the beginning of a good Ninja Turtles TV show. And I wanted to keep following the adventures. Yeah. That soundtrack, though, man. That soundtrack for anybody in the 90s. Dude. Ooh, that bump. Like, all that stuff.
You could tell who was writing this, and it was millennials. Like, 100%. Gen Xers, millennials.
All right, there we go now.
Okay. We're all like on the
Maybe a couple elder millennials, maybe a couple of them snuck in there. We are, but it definitely has that. Yeah, it definitely has that music from. Back then. I was nodding my head a few times. I was like, wait a minute, I'm digging the soundtrack.
What did they use for the montage? I forget what song they used.
They used several that was really good.
Yeah.
So. What about you? Was there anything you didn't like?
So obviously I came in here with no expectations because like I said in last week, I only watched the Ninja Turtles when I was younger. It's not something that it's not a property I kept up with. So I didn't have any expectations. So to come out of it reminds me of when I watched Puss in Boots: Last Wish. No expectations of, truly enjoying it as much as I ended up enjoying it. I laughed out loud quite a few times at some of the scenes in this film. The only thing I would say is because it was so short, I do feel like there was something missing with the plot. I think it moved a little too fast, but I understand that it is geared towards like my daughter's age, and that is perfect for her.
Was it refreshing to you though? Like walking out of the movie theater going, that was only 90 minutes, because my wife was like, that was a short movie, and I'm like, yeah.
Because the last movie we had seen was Oppenheimer, so hell yeah.
Well, no. There are certain movies that I'm like, oh my god, is this almost over?
Ariel, or I mean, Little Mermaid. The new Little Mermaid is the best example of this is going on too long. This is the reason why it never needed to be remade. Like that is like, and I don't think I had low expectations, Chris. I said no, like I had no expectation, like not like
I had low expectations, but let me tell you something, hermano, that doesn't always help. I go into every Ant-Man movie with the lowest expectations, and let me tell you, but I still was not ready for that. Splinter's Dojo, they'll probably become the mighty mutant. Oh, the Mutanimals! I love those characters.
Yeah,
Amanda, but it was better than the Flash for sure. Wait a minute now. Quit putting words in her mouth.
100.
Don't answer that question yet.
No, 100%. I do want to watch this again because I feel like there's jokes that I might have missed and things that I want to revisit in it.
Better than the Flash. Do you not remember the microwave babies? I'm sorry. Did we even watch the same movie?
I do. I remember the horrific like black hole sun faces in the dome in the bowl. I was like, oh, I can't get behind this.
No, but I heard you laugh when they were making fun of Zack Snyder's Justice League cut, though.
That was in Barbie. Yeah, I did laugh at that.
Was it? That was in Barbie?
Yeah, that was in Barbie. Yeah.
All right, I'm getting the movies mixed up now. We've watched too many movies this summer.
We have, shoot. But no, I mean, other than that, like I feel like the plot, there was something missing there, and maybe it was that little bit more of the I guess the turn for me with the villains was a little too quick for them to go from
Flash was big booty boy racist.
Oh my god!
I'm gonna call Flash big booty boy racist from now on.
I just can't believe that got through. And why? Like I
this is Ice Cube, and you're not gonna rewrite. You're not gonna call Ice to come in and reshoot or do his dialogue again. We're gonna run with it. We don't know what that means, but we're gonna run with it.
I just need to know if has someone Googled it. Yeah,
I'm not Googling big booty boy racist.
Yeah, don't do it. I don't know. Don't do it. Not if you're on a work computer. Yeah, so I don't know if it's, the only thing that the fast turn of the turn of the villains from good to bad or from bad to good, those things I think could have used a little bit more development, right? Because we're not introduced to those characters for a very long time, and then the turn feels a little bit too forced, I think. So those little minor gripes, but I understand that, yes, it is a children's movie, and so they're trying to keep it down. So I'm okay with it to a point.
A children's movie with big booty boy racists.
Yes. And I love Seth Rogen movies.
You do.
Humor.
I do not.
The Neighbors, maybe not Neighbors 2, but the first Neighbors hit real hard. Superbad, probably still.
Superbad was at a different time, and that one was funny.
I mean, I'll still
like that one.
I do like Seth Rogen stuff. I can't help it. It is what it is. I guess I'm just.
It is what it is.
A young frat boy at heart, I think.
That's how you see yourself, a young.
I mean, I like the Will Ferrell movies too, for the most part. So yeah.
Oh God, what? Okay, can we focus on this?
Crashers like that, like I.
All right, I'll give you Step Brothers. I'll give you Step Brothers. Yes, that one I like, but that's more because of my boy, John C. Reilly.
In college too much. I probably have like an inner frat boy in me. Anyways, that's my comedy. It's weird. I don't know. But I do like Seth Rogen's
comedy. What's wrong with your comedy? Laugh at whatever you want to. We don't even have comedy anymore. What's his name? Adam
Devine said that.
I think it was taken out of context, but no, that's.
He was saying that because everyone wants the next big thing, they're not making the mid-budget comedies anymore. It's like, no, they are. They're just throwing them straight to Netflix.
Yeah, exactly. All that is going to streaming.
Yeah.
But I mean, we know why comedy is dead. There's a reason why Mel Brooks won't ever come back to comedy, or why he played a minor role in his own sequel.
Yeah, we know.
It's just you can't do it until things change, and whatever. We're living in a different world, so doesn't mean that the old stuff doesn't still exist in physical media. All right, let's keep going.
Yeah, but no, and like, I mean, I know we touched a little bit on the animation, but I really did
Yeah, I
like
did
the
too.
animation in this. Really, I mean, and I remember I liked the Mitchell versus Machines animation, and of course, all of this is very reminiscent. I'm glad that people are trying new things. It's not the polished Disney look that we are so used to, right? Because even Puss in Boots had a very similar style to this, right? When we saw Last Wish, they're still going
I would say Puss in Boots had more of a style to Spider-Verse 1 than this. This was dirty and gritty, and it felt like New York City,
which is
and I
good.
like that about it.
Yes.
So it was dark and in the shadows, and a lot of nighttime shots, but everything. Really, some really interesting animation, like decisions were made though. Like whenever they're being attacked, and just the squiggle lines. It was really interesting. I would love to see a art book like how this all went down.
Yeah, that would be a really cool art book to see like the progression. I think that would be neat. I wonder if they'll ever do something like that. I mean, it's Image does, I mean, because Image is credited as one of the production companies, right? So, maybe they'll do something with it. But yeah, no, I mean, I really like this film. I want to see it again. I have a feeling that once it's out digitally, or we can, like, my daughter will want to put this on a lot. Like Mitchell versus Machine. We watched that a lot.
Your daughter's still at that wonderful age where they get obsessed with something and they want to put it on all the time. And I both miss and don't miss that age, because I don't know how many times I saw Ponyo, and if I heard the Ponyo song one more time in English or in Japanese, I was going to blow my brains out.
Well, and I'd say it's an age, but when I got Guardians on digital, I think I watched Guardians 3 like every day at least once. For like
but you actually go and watch other movies. Like Melanie watches like 7 movies, and that's all she watches.
Yeah, like, and that was like my thing. But yeah, definitely enjoyed this film. I was really pleasantly surprised and happy with the production. I know it's Nickelodeon and stuff like that, and I was really happy with it. I liked it a lot.
Good. I'm glad you liked it. Anything else before we
rate it?
Give it our final rating. Was there anything else that stood out to you? We talked about Leo. We talked about the differences.
Like the voice acting. I mean, for
the kids. Oh man, the kids were great.
Good.
Kids were great. Like I said, it took me a while because of Mikey, because I'm just used to Mikey being the youngest one. But the kids were great, and even April. I didn't like. I like the actress, and I didn't know how I would like her voice as the character of April, but she did a really good job. Jackie Chan, also another one that I was like, I don't know.
I liked it.
But no, the jokes landed, and his character was a little off the wall, but that's okay.
It's interesting.
I'm trying to think of what else.
Ice Cube, always a delight.
Ice Cube was awesome in this. Ice Cube was awesome.
And I personally enjoyed Mondo Gecko. I thought Paul Rudd did a great job.
When do you not enjoy Paul Rudd? It's not fair. You know.
I don't know. Ant-Man Quantumanium might be the
That's one. That's it. Next time we meet him, we should tell him that. We should definitely tell him he did not deliver in that movie. Let's see. The little Easter egg of Kevin Eastman showing up in the movie was a nice little touch. Man, yeah. Let's rate it. Ladies first. Anybody that have watched it, please let us know in the chat what you would give this out of 10.
9 out of 10.
9 out of 10.
I loved it. It was a great film.
Good one. That's good. That's good rate. That's good rating.
A must watch. I think everyone should go out and see it.
It was quick, and I love the feeling of like, hey, I kind of want to watch that again, even though I just walked out of the theater. It's a good feeling to have. 8 out of 10. I thought it was good. Really love Donnie in this one. Probably either him or Leo are my favorite in this incarnation of Turtles.
Yeah.
Which is weird because I usually go for Leo or Raph or Mikey sometimes. I've never been a Donnie kind of guy, but yeah, it was fun. 8 out of 10. Solid movie. If you got kids, take your kids to go see it.
Please do that. Yes.
Because now and I'll go through here in a second and see what everybody said.
Yeah.
Has a sequel been announced, or are they waiting to see how much it's going to make?
I think Paramount's already announced a sequel and maybe even a TV series on Paramount Plus, which would not surprise me. I think they need some more kid content on there. But I think they did announce a sequel.
Oh, and a TV show would be cool.
Yeah, I think a TV show.
I don't think you could lock down Jackie Chan for a TV show, though.
That I don't know what they're doing right now.
Well, doesn't matter. That's out of their budget, though. I'm sure Jackie Chan ain't cheap.
No, that's true. You're right.
6 out of 10 because they reference his Batman. 10 out of 10. Kungas. 9 out of 10. People really liked it. 8 out of 10.
I do hope it does.
Botello was my favorite. 7.5. Go ahead, Amanda.
I do. No, I was saying, I do hope that people take their kids to see it. I hope that it has legs. Like, it obviously, it came out right after Barbie and Oppenheimer. Those are still the number 1 and number 2 movies right now. Barbie just crossed $1 billion. Oppenheimer is making mad money for a rated R docudrama. Like, that's not heard of.
What was the other movie that came out that took Oppenheimer's spot as number 2? It wasn't Ninja Turtles.
No, did something? I didn't think something took the spot. Let me look at the weekend.
Sure. I'm going to go through here. 3 out of 5 stars.
The freaking Meg 2.
The Meg 2. Which, if you've seen the Meg 1, those are ridiculous fun movies. And I can kind of see that. That's a date type of movie. That's that surprises me that it did well because it's not a movie I think about going to the theater to watch.
No,
I don't know. Maybe that's the replacement for comedies that we have these days. 9 out of 10. 10 out of 10 in my girl voice, Tony. That's the only way you talk. Tony. 9 out of 10, 6 out of 10, 8.5 out of 10. What'd you think of the lighting? Well, you'll never forget that one, huh? Okay. The lighting was on point.
The lighting was on point. No, but I do hope
Donnie low-key carried the comedy. He was good.
I think about the other kid-oriented movies or movies that should be aimed at younger audiences that have come out. A lot of them mostly Disney movies this summer, like Little Mermaid or Elementals. And this, I feel like, is so much better than those films, right? Like, I saw Little Mermaid, and this is better than that.
Dude, I'll be honest with you. I forgot about the Disney Elemental film until you brought it up.
Just from the reviews, I'm like, it's just meh. But I feel like people go see it because it's a Pixar Disney movie.
But we go see movies all the time that everybody else hates, and then sometimes we end up really liking it.
So good. I hope it's like a Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse where people just it starts out slow, but then people start hearing word of mouth. It's actually kind of good. And they're like, I got nothing better to do. Let me take my kids. And then it just, it starts.
Yeah, I think I'm going to go see it again this week if I have some free time. Because I don't think Blue Beetle comes out
next week.
Next Friday, right? Not this Friday. Next Friday.
Yeah, next Friday. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
Not The Flash, that's for sure.
No, definitely not. That is not even, I think, in theaters anymore.
Date movie, you're not even watching it. You already know. Elemental made more money than. Shut up, Blast! Did it? No, it did not. No, it did not. No, it did.
It did.
No, stop it. You all are just teasing now. Y'all leave Flash alone. Where's my meme at? I made a meme for Amanda.
Elementals has made $425 million worldwide.
Why you got to do that? Don't do this on the air. Don't do this on the air. What are you doing?
$268 million worldwide.
Why would you do this on
200 million more?
Yeah, I was just bored one day and decided to watch Tmnt, and I'm like, what? Surprisingly not poop, right? That's crazy.
Yeah, I hope that it has the legs, because that's how Puss in Boots the same way, right? Opening weekend, it wasn't a smash hit, but word of mouth, and then because that's how we were. We didn't go see Puss in Boots opening.
Yeah,
weekend.
We didn't see it opening weekend. We took the kids
heard
to see
good things, and then we took the kids to see it a couple weeks later, and then we're like, oh shoot, that was a really good film. And I've watched that several times since it's come out, and when we purchased it, because it's a fun movie.
If DC had another bomb, it's never going to recover, even with it. I mean, DC, it's not like. Keep in mind, this is the same company that canceled a $90 million movie and decided to call it a loss. They canceled Batgirl without even a streaming release or anything. Made zero money from it and already spent $90 million. Yep. So I don't know. I mean, I think they're going to be fine. They're really cashing in on James Gunn, and I don't think that I don't think they're really going to start looking at numbers until they start seeing whatever the first movie is going to be. Was the Superman Legacy? Is that
yeah,
the first
I mean, that's the one they've been casting. Yeah, so that'll be the first film.
You know I will, Tony. You know I'll hit you up, brother. I made more money than the Flash movie last week working.
Yeah, you sure did.
So what is wrong? Blue Beetle looks kind of bad to me, but I was never a fan of the character to begin with. Oh, dude, he's fun. He's a lot of fun. I
love Jaime, and I really do like the actor Sholo.
Yeah, so here's hoping. I hardly watch superhero stuff these days. You watch Ninja Turtles, didn't you? You watch Ninja Turtles. They're called TMNT here in America, but they're Teenage Mutant Hero Turtles in Europe because they're not allowed to have ninjas, I think is what happened. I saw a meme of Cillian Murphy as Opie being referenced as Greta Gerwig, realizing Barbie just funded DC for years to come. Oh, yeah, they're fine.
Yeah, they're fine.
Blue Beetle Battalion. Look at that. Ted Cord. Classic. He's not in the movie.
It does make me mad that Zaslav is like doing a victory lap on Barbie because he probably wasn't even CEO when they contracted for Barbie and started all the stuff, right? He wasn't even CEO at the time. He can't, what can he lay claim to that film? And then he's...
Well, I mean, his money. He can lay claim his money, right?
I know. God, I hate these CEOs. Bob Iger is also effing nerves,
Isn't that what they do? They fund the thing, and then they brag about how great it was.
How great it was. How great I did. Oh, gosh. It wasn't the actors. It's not... People went to see it because I was so smart.
Definitely not the writers.
Definitely not the writers. Definitely not the directors. Definitely not the actors. We all came to see it for you, Zaslav. That's you.
I love Blue Beetle, Brave and the Bold, and Young Justice made me aware of him. Oh, those are some good shows, man.
Yeah.
Blue Beetle looks fun. I'm not seeing during opening weekend, though. I'm hyped for Blue Beetle. I haven't been to the theater in a while, but I guess I'll support my fellow Hispanic superheroes. That's right, man. We need to come together. I need Amanda to diss all my adversaries.
You don't want to see me start fight.
All the Latinos need to, we need to come out. And we're gonna be late too, though. We're gonna be late. We're gonna be showing up a week late for Blue Beetle. That's when the true money's gonna be made, because that's how we do. They gotta celebrate any win they can. The struggle is real for WB. Really Bryan Cranston supposedly in Blue Beetle, but hope he's not Ted Cord. Oh yeah. Well, I don't need no more of these big name people, please. Oh my gosh, what's the latest I saw? Was the latest rumors of the cast of Fantastic Four? Did you see that one?
I think Vanessa Kirby now is in the running, and then
the guy from The Bear. The guy from The Bear.
That's what I saw. Stranger Things is what I saw.
All right, whatever it is, I don't need any. Give me a no name. Then it needs more Booster Gold. I'd be all over.
To be fair, he's only had one credit to his name, and that's Eddie from Stranger Things. I'd be okay with that because
who's Eddie?
The rocker that everyone fell in love with during Stranger Things. The most recent season.
Wait. He's up in the running for who?
For Johnny. So that's who everyone's saying is
dude, give that guy Mr. Fantastic. He'd be good at that. Johnny, he's a little
young though, especially if they go with Vanessa Kirby.
How old's Kirby?
Who I wanted.
30? Oh, she's great. Yeah, man. She won me over
for Mission Impossible.
Mission Impossible. She's so sexy and talented, I mean. A studio CEO claiming credit for a movie.
Yeah.
Had nothing creatively. Sounds about right. Absolutely. This is what they all do. Don't we still have the writer's strike and actors? Yep.
Yes, we do. Yeah. Looks like I think it's this Friday. I think they're going back to the table. The writers and the producers are going back, not the actors. So
the guy in the Green Knight, I can see that. We already had a.
Oh, you talking about Dev? Oh, I love Dev Patel. God, it's such a
What's his name? Yeah, he's good. He was in what was he known for? The movie that won an Oscar.
Life of Pi? No.
Nope. Gosh dang it! Who wants to be
a millionaire? Sorry.
Yes, thank you. That one. Who wants to be a millionaire?
The only person in the Last Airbender, the awful god awful.
You love talking about that movie,
except
Amanda.
For the fact he's in a bad, terrible, bad movie. Oh, I think I was talking about him in that exact thing. He's the only one I give a pass to because him and Zuko, I give him a pass for that. That's it.
You don't give anybody in that movie a pass.
No, just Dev Patel because I love.
They knew what they were doing. They're ripping your heart out.
Oh. Well,
but who knows where we're going to be. I read a headline that Marvel. Yeah, let's talk about that. Let's talk about this headline that Kane read. that the VFX workers are voting to unionize. So, Amanda, what does that mean for a simpleton like me that just watches movies? What happens if the VFX people unionize? Can't even
obviously, if they unionize, now they have the, obviously, if you're familiar with unions, now they have a bargaining.
There wasn't a couple of unions.
Were you?
Mm-hmm. Buffalo Trace had a union.
Oh, that makes sense. Kroger's had unions too, apparently.
They did. You call it Kroger's. Boy, you are Kentucky now. Kroger's
had one. But no, so obviously that gives them a little bit more power. And given all the recent behind the scenes stuff that has come out with like Disney and the overworked of their VFX artists, underpaid, overworked. I know that even, Sony's had some issues as well. So, this kind of gives them more bargaining power against the studios. Obviously, the studios don't want them unionized because what major corporation wants unions? Amazon doesn't. And I'll be interested to see how this works because Amazon is known for union busting, like with their drivers and stuff. So Amazon has Prime and they use VFX artists. So I'll be interested to see how that plays out. But yeah, I mean, it could be good things for us as moviegoers because it could obviously VFX artists, if they're not being overworked, underpaid, we could see better VFX. We know that a lot of the Marvel films and TV shows have taken a hit with their VFX, for example. So there's a good possibility we'll see some improvement. But I mean, it all comes down to if they're able to actually, in fact, unionize, and if the union busting try to interfere with it.
I've worked at factories before where, there's a threat of losing your job if there's any talk of union because nobody wants a union. And I remember one time there was a strike to get a union going, and they were like, yeah, we'll wait it out. And I mean, that's what corporations do, right? They wait it out. They have the money to do it, and they can hire somebody else to come in. My mom's a union for a casino dealers, and that's the reason why she actually has decent health insurance. Yeah, they do. There's a lot of good to it. I think a lot of it goes back to,
I can't address that, Jack Ferry.
I love the movie version of The Last Airbender. The cartoon was trash.
I feel like that's a hot take.
Jack, you're messing with Amanda? Jack, what's going on with this?
Is that what it is?
I love it. I love this though, Jack. I like this side of you. My sister's in a union. It's how she was able to keep her job after change of hands. Absolutely. Y'all are going to give SO to Aquaman for his good work over the weekend. Oh, wait. What now? Hold on.
What?
Y'all are going to give... You're talking about my boy, right? What do you mean? What did he do this weekend? You're talking about my main right here, right? This guy, Terrence Howard. Did he do something this weekend? Is he playing Aquaman? What's happening, Amanda? Keep me up. Thank you so much for the super chat, guys. When there's something strange in the Hollywood lot, who are you going to call? Union Busters. That's right.
Oh, baby. Amazon will get him out, I'm sure. Or Disney will hire Amazon's Union Busters, one or the other. So it was in Seattle.
Oh, Montgomery.
Yeah. In Alabama, Montgomery.
The memes that have come out of that. Me and my boy Brian have been sharing them all day, and I shared them with Tony too. Oh my gosh. Oh, man. Okay. Y'all are killing me with these memes.
Shout out to Aquaman.
The Alabama fight. Okay. I'm not laughing about the actual fight, right? I'm laughing about
never good.
The memes that are created from the fight that happened. So America, man. He says, Alabama. America. Come on, man. What are you, dude? I thought you had some good news about my boy Terrence Howard replacing what's his name as Aquaman. That would have been my day. Replacing anybody, that would have been good.
Yeah, but that's not happening.
No, dude, I've been shared so much. I saw that one too. That's the one to the Alabama fight. Yeah, that red tide. The new memes, dude. When they start doing Doctor Strange and all them folks show up, I lost it. I was like, and then they start using the Avengers soundtrack again. Not laughing about the actual thing, just laughing about the things that are created afterwards.
Interesting what we can make memes out of.
And I mean like that.
Think about the tragic submarine incident, right? That just happened last month.
Oh yeah, I was in Japan when that happened.
With the with the millionaires, billionaires.
I had no idea what anybody was talking about until you texted me.
Yeah, and the stuff that came out of that,
people.
It's dark.
Quick,
It was funny, but it was dark.
This is why we ain't got time to sit here and mourn over anything. We gotta move on and make things funny and pop. They were quick with the memes and reenact. Yeah, that was serious, man.
100%. Yes.
After Blue Beetle, probably watching another movie. Not watching another movie until Dune 2. After Blue Beetle, I'm trying to think what else comes out. We have the Marvels coming out, and
that's until November.
We have the new Martin Scorsese movie, and all the Oscar movies come out. Usually, the contenders usually come out in November, December. That's usually the months for those. Comic book writers, artists, and editors should unionize. Oh man, that's been something that they try to do several times in the 80s and I think in the 90s, and every time they've been threatened, it's always been work for hire. Yeah, it sucks.
Yeah.
Aquaman 2, that's right, Aquaman 2.
Yeah.
And wait, Dune 2? I thought Dune 2 was in December. It's in November, huh?
November. We have to watch Expendables 4 when that comes out.
Oh yeah, baby! I'm so excited for that one.
We also then have to do a ranking of our Expendable movies, or we have to watch.
There's only 4. I got it. 1, 2, and 3. Although 2 is really good with what's his name? Jean-Claude Van Damme is Le Villain, whatever the heck his name is. It's so ridiculous. What's that?
And I'll have to see Five Nights at Freddy. That comes out October 27th, and I will need to see it with my daughter because
she's gonna need to hold your hand so you don't get scared.
I know. Yeah. We'll see.
I hope Blue Beetle's a success as well, dude. We need some good wins. I'm a moviegoer, so I see everything when it comes out to my town. Good for you, man. That's the way it should be. The comics have unionized. It's called Image, but even Image has they do things a little bit different over there. Jean-Claude has his own YouTube channel. I didn't know that.
Really?
Dude, I remember Amanda and I going opening night to Aquaman 1. And I was like, oh, that's the target audience. All them women behind us, anytime dude had his shirt off, which was 90% of the movie, but they were like screaming. Now it's like, well, they're getting them seats filled. That's cool.
Yep, they did the right thing, I guess.
Dude shows off his workout routines and movie.
Is Schwarzenegger doing the same thing? Or no, he has a club you can join. Schwarzenegger does. He's monetizing his stuff. Workout with Schwarzenegger. It's a whole thing. Look on his Instagram.
Five Nights at Freddy's will probably. Oh, are you kidding me? Absolutely. I think it's still hot. It's what kids still talk about and watch.
I don't know how my daughter, she found it for some reason, so that it has to be popular.
Image is not dead. They're just separated into different entities. The Marvels movie looks like, I think the Marvels looks fun. Yeah. We'll see. Will Five Nights at Freddy's make money? I think so. Will be simultaneously in theaters and on Peacock on the same day. Why are they doing that?
Why they do? I thought they were not done. We're done doing that.
Like, let's make some money back. You don't make money back by being on Peacock. Well, whatever. He didn't have his shirt off. And
that's why it didn't make as much money as it could have.
Is that why? I just thought it was a bad movie.
Or maybe just it was bad.
I haven't seen Fast X. It just popped up on something, and I was like, no, not today. Not today.
We'll have to watch it at some point.
What did I watch? I ended up rewatching Alive. It's a movie I haven't seen in a long time. What if FNAF bombs?
I don't know.
Probably won't get a sequel.
I mean, it's fine. I mean, I'm surprised there's a movie at all, to be quite honest.
Valiant is dead. No, Valiant is still kicking. They're kicking. Don't count them out yet, Jack. They're still kicking, brother. Shonda Sook, decent health insurance is not nearly good enough. You guys need what the rest of the world's have, but coming from Norway can be expensive. I actually had to use $5 on parking. Oh, you live in Norway? Oh, okay. Yeah. That universal healthcare, huh? Imagine a double feature of The Flash and Superman Legacy.
No one's imagining that.
Why would you do this to me, Blas? Like, Valiant went out of business. No. I think it's just a lot of the people working behind there are jumping ship, moving on to other things. And they're delayed on books a lot. So Peacock does it a lot, actually, huh? The Marvels looks like they're forcing a femme fest, honestly.
Well,
I can't remember who the villain is, but I really thought that was her sister from the comics.
yeah.
Carol's sister. I don't know what they're doing with the villain.
Did they really?
What's that?
I'm
Disney
just
just removed Echo from the release schedule. Oh, I thought that was coming out this year.
I thought it was just going to be all released at once in November, like all the episodes. So it's removed now. I'm gonna look that up.
Have you guys seen that Valiant Comics movie Unity? I think it was called. I haven't seen Unity, but I did finally see Bloodshot with Jason David Frank. Eclipse comics are dead. Thanks for that, James. You're about 40 years late on the news, but I appreciate it. What if Shredder storms the school for turtles since they're easier to find now? But why is he after them?
Yeah, why
to begin with, right? He has nothing to do with them. He just showed up in the city, but he might have something to do with Maya Rudolph's character, who reminds me of the character from the comic book. I can't remember her name, the demon-looking lady. Walking Dead comics are undead. Thank you for that, Shonda Sook. I miss the classic banter between Raph and Casey Jones. Well, like Amanda was saying, this is probably because it was geared towards kids, that the next movie, might be a little more, we might get to see some of that.
Yeah.
Marvel's looks meh, but I'm willing to give it a shot. I think this one looks fun. At least from the trailer that I've seen. But I've been fooled by trailers before.
Yes, we've been fooled by trailers. I thought Love and Thunder would be good. I mean, I think we've seen our reaction videos for like the trailers, and we're like,
oh, dude, we were so excited. We were like, they're playing Guns N' Roses. And this is gonna hit. We were right in the field. It hit different.
I thought we get all the Thors, because we, from the Jason Aaron run, we get all the Thors together. No, it was not any of that.
Yeah, I'm curious. I would love, especially once he's separated enough from the stories, I'd love to interview Aaron again and and ask him, how did you really feel about your stuff being adapted? Because it's got to be difficult, right? Because he's mentioned in the movie, and I'm sure whatever paycheck, whether it's small or big, he got something for it because of the creation of the character that shows up. And this is, of course, after contracts were changed in the 90s.
Yeah,
it's got to be hard to be like, yeah, that sucked. You gotta give him enough time.
Exactly.
The Ultron lady hired him. Ultron. Oh, yeah. That's what I think. I'm sure he's gonna be a mercenary. Okay, yeah, I would be good with that.
I'm good with that.
Tmnt has his own multiverse, dude. If they show they did that in a couple of the Turtles incarnations, I love that stuff. I think Lars is American Norwegian. I don't think he even speaks Norwegian. I'll tell him next time he's on the show. Bring back 90s TMNT, ones with muscles. You mean the toys? The toys are great, but the toys are nothing.
They pump some iron. They're young boys. They can get.
Yeah, those guys in the 90s or in the late 80s and early 90s were not Ninja Turtles. They were Ninja Turtles. They weren't teenagers. What's up, Matt? We did talk Turtles. You haven't seen it yet?
We're done with it, though.
Go and see it. Thor sucked, unfortunately. Yes, it did. Disney Plus and Hulu getting price increase. Yeah. Of course they are. The new ad-free price are $10.99 to $13.99. Damn, Hulu's $17. Did Hulu absorb Showtime though?
No, Showtime is part of Paramount.
But I see Paramount still has those. We'll talk here in a little bit. We'll talk about that.
Yeah,
I live in New Asgard. Oh, okay.
Nice. But fun fact about Disney Plus: apparently, Bob Iger is now exploring their subscriber agreements in the idea of password sharing.
You need to be quiet. Shh, keep that.
No, I'm just saying that's exactly what's happening. I saw it and I was like, great.
Yeah, can we not do that, please?
They're taking a page out of Netflix book. So
yeah. IDW TMNT figures are coming. Huh. I love hearing Josh Brolin talking about Jonah Hex now. He doesn't hold back. He hated that movie.
We also were not fans of it. We did a review and wasn't really that bad of Jonah
Megan Fox, and they were both on there. I think I might be an add-on for Hulu. Okay. Anything else we need to talk about tonight, Panda?
No, I think that is all we have on our plate for this evening. Nothing comes out this week, so we don't have a Friday show as far as movies. Next week, we will not be doing a Wednesday show because I will be driving back from seeing a Yellow Card and Story of the Year concert because that's my life. And then
you're gonna be losing your voice again.
Yeah,
Worth it.
But we will be watching Blue Beetle on Thursday, and we will do a review of it on Friday. So expect a Blue Beetle review. I'm so excited to talk about Sholo. So it's gonna be fun.
So fingers crossed that it
Good.
delivers.
Yeah, I really hope it delivers.
About the Last Ronin getting a video game. Sure. It's a good story. It's a really good. Last Ronin is a good bookend to the animated show, the comics, any adaptation of Ninja Turtles. Yeah. So that's it, everybody. Amanda, get us out of here.
All right. So thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button. And remember to follow us on all of our social media channels at Near Mint Con. Remember, check us out on Spreadshop for some great Near Mint Edition merchandise. And also check us out on Patreon. For $1 a month or more, you can support us and get some cool perks in the process. And last but not least, if it's classy and cool, it must be Near Mint. Good journey till all are one. That's all I got right now. We need to find some more things. And yes, I'm seeing it for both Yellow Card and Story of the Year because I love them both. So good night, everyone.
All right. Bye, everybody.
Day, depending on where you are.
Or day.